Siguro in my young mind, sabi ko na I hope na pag naging doktor ako later on, I would be able to help people na they won't have to go through sa mga things na pinagdaanan ng nanay ko. Lahat sinalihan ko and I really wanted to win kasi gusto ko dalhin ko sa mami ko para makita ko siya na nagsismile siya. You know, tayo. We were sent as parang answered prayers for this little child. Diba?
Right now, how fulfilled are you?
Kasi, for me, yung I always try.
Just came at the right time. Mga ka-All Talks, welcome again. It's another episode at sigurado ako inspiring tong episode na to dahil yung guest ko, makita ko lang siya. Inspired na ako sa kanyang buhay at sa kanyang gustong gawin sa buhay niya. Well, she just wanted to be introduced as a pediatric oncologist and a mover. Pero sa amin, she's a superhero who wears a white cape. Walang iba kundi si Dr. May Dolendo. Hi, Doc! Welcome to All Talks of Life.
Hi, Doc Robic. Thank you for having me here. It's really a pleasure and of course a privilege.
Yes, finally, I have you here in a very important day. Kasi bukas, Survivor's Day. At yung Survivor's Day na yon is going to be a celebration of your birthday. But before we start sa All Talks of Life, like what I always ask in my game show, andam na ba si Doc May?
Ay, game na.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's
Doc
do
May,
this.
I'm really interested on how your life started at bakit ka nag-decide maging doctor.
Well, two things. Number one, syempre, when I was young, when you do very well sa school, di ba? Usually sasabihin ng mga parents o ng mga classmates na, magdoktor ka o kaya mag-lawyer ka. So usually yan, di ba?
Yes, yung
From
dalawa
adults.
yun.
From adults, you hear that from adults. And tapos, mayroon akong kaklase before, he was an only child. Ang parents niya were doctors. So palagi ko sila nakikita sa school and I thought na, siguro ang ganda maging doktor. Because, you know, you take care of people. And to me, it's a very napaka-noble na profession.
So ano to? Elementary, high school?
I think I decided to be a doctor 9 years old pa lang ako.
9 years old. So parang
Very
yun na talaga.
young,
You can see yourself wearing a white gown.
Apo. And ito, recently ko lang ito sinasabi sa aking mga students and even to the people, mga na would like to pursue further studies in medicine. Sabi ko, you know what? Mahirap maging doktor. It's a long, it will take all of you. Physically, mentally, psychologically. So sabi ko, when you want something, you look at the people na who already have your dream. And if you like what you see, then go for it. Parang parang a peek into the future. Kasi 'di ba, mahirap siya eh, 'di ba? Mahirap siya na gawin. It will take a lot of money, it will take a lot of effort. Tapos pagdating mo doon, hindi mo pala siya gusto. So I think looking at other people and seeing what they're doing and thinking na siguro pag ganyan ako later on, I would like to be like that.
Pero ano yung nag-strengthen? Bakit naging
Well,
tuloy-tuloy?
ako I'm very, very stubborn. So when I decided na maging doktor ako, so parang single-minded ako magiging doktor ako. So I tried to study very hard kasi alam ko na yun yung kailangan. So I tried to study very hard and I did very well in school. So mula elementary hanggang high school, I got scholarships. Halos walang binabayaran ng parents ko sa akin. And then eventually, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And she died when I was 17.
Wow, very young.
So, doon ko nakita na Well, that was a time, itong mga 1980s na, although we know a lot about cancer, hindi pa siya ganun ka-develop sa atin. So, and my mom presented it with late-stage disease. So, parang nakita ko lahat yung suffering niya, yung pinagdaanan niya. And, syempre, we've always been in the hospital. Siguro in my young mind, sabi ko na, I hope na pag naging doktor ako later on, I would be able to help people na they won't have to go through sa mga things na pinagdaanan ng nanay ko. Like, she would go into the room, tapos, kasi, she had chemotherapy, she had radiation therapy, she had third-degree burns, and napakasakit nun. So, she would go into the room, and hindi niya kasi pinapakita sa amin. Like, hindi siya nagko-complain, talagang, she would go into the room, tapos alam mo na umiyak siya sa sakit, kasi paglabas niya, mugtong-mugto. Ako, manang-mana ako sa mami ko, mugtong-mugto yung mata niya paglabas. So, you knew na she was suffering, she cried. Sabi ko, ano kayang hindi mo lang ito binigyan ng nanay ko ng, hindi ko alam I was just 17. I was very, parang napaka-helpless ko.
Helpless and clueless.
Oo, and clueless na hindi ko alam anong gagawin ko. And would you believe na during that time, kasi itong mami ko napakasimple, she never praises me sa harap ko. But she's very happy na, like halimbawa, manalo ako sa school. So, I went through that phase na para akong, I was so crazy. Lahat sinalihan ko, and I really wanted to win kasi gusto ko dalhin ko sa mami ko para makita ko siya na nagsismile siya.
Kasi yun yung affirmation
yung parang,
once you see it.
Wala you're very young, you don't have money, you only have your school, you only have whatever it is that you would have. So lahat ng contest talagang sinalihan ko, and then I would go. Tapos tuwang-tuwa ako na I can see her smile. Oo.
Yun pala yun. Yun yung reason why you join many contests.
During that time, it was not even, I didn't care. It was all for, during that time, it was all for my mom. Kasi I thought, yun lang magawa ko kasi hindi naman ako doktor.
Now I understand why you're like that, Doc. Yun pala yung pinagmulan at early age, especially when your mom passed away.
There was also a lot of, syempre, teenager ako. Syempre, tatanungin ko, bakit ito nangyayari sa amin, di ba? Kahit pa paano, parang naging angry ka rin. Kasi, syempre, di ba, I had a very good, I had, yung family ko sa happy family. It's the usual family na every weekend, lalabas kami. Very simple joys, manood ng sine, kakain sa labas, pupunta sa church, and it's also siguro, it's not just ang experiences, but also the people around me.
The people
ako even when I was young, ang mga kausap ko mga matatanda.
You get the wisdom from them.
Oo, kahit I remember, parang high school pa man ako noon or mga early college na meron akong cousin na way older than me na naglolo. So doon ako palaging sumasama. So yung mga nakikinig ka sa kanila, o syempre ikaw high school ka lang. So and you listen to what they are saying. Wala ka namang masabi doon, pero the fact na I had an opportunity to listen to people who are way smarter and wiser than me. Wala akong masyadong kalaro na mga kaedad ko. So siguro it was something na I might have been way ahead of my time kasi yung mga kausap ko are
mahilig ka makinig.
Yes.
Mahilig ka makinig.
And to absorb kung ano yung mga naririnig ko.
Yes.
So it's not just the experiences, it's also the people around me.
So it helped you become a doctor, lahat ng yun. Paano ka napasok sa pediatric then? Sa pediatric oncology?
Well, alam mo, even yung pagiging doktor, napakahirap nun. Kasi, syempre, I was young when I lost my mom. So, syempre, single parent.
Yes.
So, and ang dalawa kong kapatid, nag-aaral ng nursing. So, isipin mo, tatlo kami.
Medical lahat.
We come from a middle class family. So, tatlo kami. Although ang father ko walang masyadong problema sa akin because I've been doing scholarships mula elementary hanggang hanggang medical school.
Until you
Oo, pero
nakagraduate ka.
yung talaga that was the toughest kasi syempre 'di ba yung tragedy na nabibigay ng cancer sa iyo ang hirap ng gamutan, napakamahal. We had to sell our house. We literally lost everything, and I didn't even, hindi ko maubos maisip na kung makaaral pa ba ako ng medicine.
Kung matatapos mo pa ba yung dream mo?
Kung maaabot ko pa yun. But then, I did medical technology. Tapos, I immediately took the board kasi sabi ko baka kailangan magtrabaho to help my dad. But then, realize ko na parang, alam mo yon, yung parang somebody dies in you na parang, it wouldn't be the same kung hindi ako magdoktor. So, I had a long talk with my dad na kung pwede ba, if I find a scholarship, pwede ba paaralin ko yung sarili ko? Alam mo yon. So kaya even when medical school was tough, marami din akong pinagdaanan, kahit kulang na lang maglakad ka malayo papunta sa school. Alam mo yon, yung di mo alam kung may pamasahe ka pa pabalik. Yun yung mga, and even if pag malapit ng exam, pag mag-brown out sa inyo, pupunta ako ng hospital kasi gusto ko mag-aral. Alam mo yon, sa hospital walang brown out.
Yes.
So sometimes I would just doon sa malapit sa chapel, syempre may mga lights. So sometimes may mga kasama kami doon. So doon kami mag-aaral. And despite the fact that it was very difficult, yun talagang, hindi, kailangan ko talaga ito tapusin kasi, alam mo yun, parang mapahiya ako sa daddy ko. Ginusto ko to eh. There are times na yung mga notes ko, itatapon ko na yan kasi I'm so tired. I'm so, grabe ang academic stress. Sobra. Tatapon ko yan, but after some time, kunin ko na naman balik. But then eventually, so nakahanap din ako ng scholarship, nakatapos din ako kahit papaano. And pediatrics actually was not my first choice. Nung clerk kasi ako, 'di ba, fourth year ka, clerk, yun, iikot ka sa lahat, rotation. Right? So I did well sa halos lahat. Ang pediatrics hindi masyado kasi I lost. Parang there were times na na-absent ako or things like that. So but then eventually I think it really finds you pag sa iyo talaga. And then I-realize ko, I like children. Tapos parang masaya sila, 'di ba? Well, kanya-kanya ang gusto naman yan. Yes. So for me, I like the fact na well, hindi naman na simple ang mga bata, but alam mo yon, yung joy and happiness, gusto ko yon.
Yes. Totoo. Kasi yung mga bata hindi nagsisinungaling.
Yes, yes. And then they say the funniest and the most honest things. Alam mo, like halimbawa, ito example ito ha. Yesterday I was so tired. I was nandun ako sa pagdating ko dun sa Children's Cancer Institute. Meron kasi akong isang bata doon na from last time naabutan ko siya. So nagkukulay. So nakikulay din ako doon, gumawa din ako sa kanya. So and then eventually when I came yesterday kasi feeling ako sobrang pagod, yung parang drained, sabi ko sa kanya pagpasok niya, doktora, yung parang ganito kaliit. Kaya, doktora, kumusta? Kumusta? Sabi ko, I'm so tired. Pwede mo ako i-hug? So she hugged me. And then, alam mo, matagal kami, ganun lang kami. And then eventually, parang na-recharge na din ako. So it's just, that was really, really something. And then, syempre, usap bata. Kumusta? Natapos mo na yung
drawing mo.
Drawing mo, kulay mo. Nagtatawanan kami kasi yung mga choices niya of colors, like halimbawa blue ang mukha. So yung mga ganun. And I realize na kasimple ng buhay. Bakit kinocomplicate ng mga tao?
Na tayo lang din nagko-complicate sa sarili
diba?
natin. Pero grabe, Doc, no? You were raised tough times talaga. 5 times. And that made you tougher in this world, di ba? And when you had the chance to study abroad, this opened up a bigger picture in your life.
Ang husband ko is an engineer. So, he worked in Singapore. And after ng pediatrics ko, I did my pediatrics at Southern Philippines Medical Center. Davao Medical Center pa yan siya.
Dati.
Hindi pa siya ganyan kaganda ngayon, right? That was also tough. Kasi
What year can you remember?
1995 to 1998. After ng pediatrics ko, my husband asked me, kasi parang napagbigyan niya na ako kasi noon sabi ko, babe, kung gusto ko pa rin mag-specialize. Syempre doktor ka na, but I want to do something else. Sabi ko, I want to do pediatrics. During that time we were nasa Manila kami nakatira. And then sabi ko, mahirap dito. Bibitbitin ko yung mga bata. Sabi niya, umuwi ka ng Davao kasi mahirap dito sa Manila. Nandun ako sa labas, mag-isa ka lang, wala kang support. If you want, you have
Bring them back to Davao.
So, kaya ako napunta ng Davao. And remember ko pa noon, that was really tough. Kasi yung dalawang bata maliliit pa. Carry ko yung isa, tapos yung isa nakalambitin dun sa paa ko, si Ash and si Meg. And Ash is getting married soon. So nakalambitin sa paa ko, bumababa kami ng eroplano. I could imagine, yan yung time na first bumukas yung Victoria Plaza. Malapit kami dun
Yes.
Doon kami nakatira. So every time bubukas yung, bibitbitin ko na yung mga bata doon. Magpalamig na kami doon. Yes, yung carousel. And syempre, I went into training sa Davao Medical Center. And when I finished my pediatrics, sabi ng ako din naman, naisip ko rin, my children, even if na umuwi naman yung asawa ko, and I felt na they needed their father.
Okay.
So kaya sige, anyway, tapos naman ako ng residency ko, pero sabi ko sa kanya, hanapan mo ako diyan, ayoko na
walang gawin.
Wala akong gawin diyan. So tamang-tama nagbukas sila, so that's why I was able to, kaya nga biglaan din yun parang drop everything ako, like sinabihan ako ng October 28, November 4 I have to
fly to Singapore.
Yung first week ng November I have to fly. Syempre dami ka na. And ako, I was really dragging my feet. Even if sinasabihan ko yung asawa ko na, hanapin mo ako nagkagawin dyan, I was hoping na wala siyang mahanap.
Kasi gusto mo pa rin talaga maiwan dito.
Because I was already starting din. Parang nag-e-enjoy na rin ako. I was starting my practice. Although, syempre, konti pa lang. Pero during that time, ginawa ko rin yung opportunity na makaaral ako para makakuha ako ng specialty boards, so on and so. I really loved what I was doing. So sabi ko, sana walang mahanap ang asawa ko.
Pero may nahanap.
May nahanap siya. And I was told, immediately, I have to drop everything. I have to go overseas. Bit-bit ko yung mga bata. And syempre, you have to settle them there, so on and so forth.
So, what year did you go to Singapore?
1999.
1999.
98 ako natapos
Tapos,
I immediately took part 1 sa pediatrics. Pumasa naman ako sa diplomate exams ko. But initially, ang isip ko, mag-gastroenterologist ako. Kasi during that time, yung the only gastroenterologist in Davao na lumabas ng bansa. So I was thinking, maganda siguro ang gastro. Tapos nakarotate ako sa oncology. And parang, na-amaze ako.
Yeah.
Kasi when I was doing pediatrics sa Pilipinas, may mga cancer patients, pero halos wala akong nakita na nag-survive. Kasi nga, syempre cancer siya,
Yes.
di ba? And during the time, wala namang resources, and alam mo, nasa public hospital ako nanggaling, walang, we can't cure cancer.
In other words, dati dito ang pananaw mo, you cannot cure cancer.
I cannot cure cancer. And during that time, wala naman akong nagtataka nga yung isang oncologist kasi during that time walang pediatric oncologist. So the ones who were looking after the children were adult oncologists. So yun, tinatanong ako, like, I don't mind. Nakailang beses ko ikot sa cancer. And one time, sinabi niya sa akin, May, ayaw mo ba mag-oncologist? Yung parang ano lang, parang spontaneous lang na nasabi niya. Naku naman, I don't mind. Kasi always ako, wala akong, yung kumbaga wala namang akong paborito. Like, if it's a job, it needs to be done, I will do.
It's the same old Doc May na you're very interested to listen to everything that you can learn.
For me kasi natututunan.
But when you were there in Singapore, there's this one situation na yung doctor, yung mentor mo, asked you because yung doctor na yun, may patient siya na bata and mother.
Yes. So, tinanong niya ako, May, who do you think is the patient? So, akala ko yung bata,
kasi
right?
Kasi automatic, kasi pediatric.
Oo, pediatrics eh. Tapos then he told, no, it's the mother. So, to me, parang tumatak sa isip ko na, pwede palang ganon? I mean, you can have cancer and then you can survive it, you can be cured, and you can have a family. So, parang, so siguro if you know the stories I've been telling you kanina, di ba? You look at the people who already have your dream, and if you like what you see, then you go for it. So doon parang ko kaganda naman ito. And while I was doing my rotation doon sa oncology, nakita ko na it's not just they're very good at what they're doing. So, nandun yung science, nandun talaga yung medicine. But at the same time, may kakambal siya na caring for patients because matagalan yung treatment sa pasyente. Then you get to know the families, and ang mga pasyente kahit papaano, kung na-attach man ako sa kanila, mas na-attach sila sa akin na paminsan-minsan hindi sila magpa-access ng port nila pag hindi ako duty, yung mga ganong sitwasyon.
So, and hinahanap ka na.
And I was among the first Filipinos to be trained there. And ang sabi nga nung prof ko, kasi nagtataka sila sa akin, I'm doing oncology, and that's cancer, right? Ang ini-imagine mo na very depressing siya. Noon, sabi nung prof ko, May, kasi yung aming unit nasa dulo. Nasa dulo ng maliit lang siya, 11 beds lang dati yung oncology. Ngayon, isang buong na sila, isang buong floor na. During that time, 11 beds lang. Tapos ako, I would go into the ward, and then, syempre, marami akong mga kaibigan. Kasi, kaibigan ko mga Pilipino, kaibigan ko rin mga Chinese. Kasi kung hindi ako marunong, naghahanap ako
ng Chinese na mag-i-interpret sa'yo.
So, sabi nung prof ko, May, I can hear you before I can see you. Kasi, alam niya daw na nandyan na ako kasi maingay na daw yung buong ward bago ako makarating doon. So, I was really enjoying what I was doing. So, I would come early, I would finish late, and I didn't really mind. Kasi yung talagang, for me, hindi ako nagbibilang eh. If it's a job and it needs to be done, we just have to do it. Parang ganun yung isip ko. And totally, kasi it's not just loving, it's the connections na you have with people. Syempre may mga pasyente din na difficult, pero it was something na challenge ako, yung utak ko, but at the same time yung capacity ko, and that's the reason why I went into medicine instead of doing medical technology. Kasi yung people component na you get to talk to families.
May connection talaga. Not only limited to the patient, but even to the family.
Ang reason why I wanted to do oncology is because wala kaming ganito. Gusto ko siya dalhin pabalik. Gusto kong, I want na kung ano yung nakikita ko sa inyo na nabubuhay niyo itong mga
gagawin
bata.
Mo dito.
Gagawin ko doon kasi wala siya, there's a need there. To be able to wala eh. Kasi when you work in a public hospital, doon mo makita yung when people are sick, ito yung pinaka siguro worst time in their lives. May pera man ang tao, wala. Kasi you feel very powerless, you feel 'di ba? So yun talaga. And I thought that, makatulong man lang ako konti doon to make that better. And ang naisip ko din talaga na if you are given so much, Kasi yun yung feeling ko eh. Kahit sabihin mo na hindi naman ako mayaman, hindi naman ako whatever, but I feel na parang binigyan talaga ako ni Lord ng marami. I've been really very blessed with so many things. Family ko, mga friends ko, my love for my job, being able to be a doctor and being able to practice this craft. So, di ba, parang I felt that I was so gifted na hindi siya enough lang just for me. Na para lang sa akin, this is too much. Just for me.
That's why you need to
Kaya
share.
kailangan, and if you're given the choice, ito choice ko to eh, kasi other people might choose otherwise, di ba? Pwede naman ako mag-private practice or pwede naman ako na yun lang gagawin ko. Pero choice ko talaga ito na if I've been given this gift, dito ko siya gagamitin.
Then you made that choice. 5 years doon Singapore, you came back and you started doing the works. Kung ano yung nakita mo, ang hirap nun ha. Kumbaga,
suntok sa buwan.
Paano mo i-apply yung paano ginagawa dito doon?
And I remember my prof tell me. Kasi nga, syempre, maniwala ka, nung residente kami, ang galing-galing talaga namin mag-insert ng IV line. Kasi yung cannula na yan, kailangan isang beses mo lang yan, kailangan shoot siya. Kasi kung hindi mo siya mapasok, wala eh, bibili ang pasyente eh. Kung walang pambili ang pasyente, ikaw bibili. So nasa isip mo talaga na pag mag-insert ako ng IV, one time lang yan. So pagdating ko doon sa Singapore, na shock ako na nag-kink yung isang pwede ko siya itapon, tapos kukuha ko ng isa ng bago.
Tapos dito,
parang
so
I can do
easy.
that. I can do that. Parang, so syempre, ibang talaga siya. And I really respect how Singapore has really, ibang lugar talaga siya.
All Talks of Life would like to thank Miss Bridget. Cozy vibe and upbeat atmosphere, perfect for day-to-night mingling and dining. Ken Howell Multimedia Services. Cool Smiles Dental Clinic. Changing Smiles, Changing Lives. Hag Tags. And Vibe Multimedia.
Pero Doc, ito kadalasan, normally, pag ito lang talaga tayo. But you never settled for that.
No.
You never settled for that.
Never
And that
settled
is where
for that.
House of Hope came in dahil sabi mo, hindi pwede yung 10% na survival rate when you came back in SPMC na that time when you came back eh.
Davao Medical Center pa siya.
Davao Medical Center pa siya.
Yes,
Okay.
2004.
SPMC right now, but the rate of survival was 10% lang.
And we were
And
only seeing very few kids. Siguro mga 40 per year.
40 per year.
Per year lang. So, hindi talaga sila nakakarating sa ospital.
So, kumbaga
And
kung
for
40 per year,
something-
that's just 4% survival. No?
Very, very low.
Tapos,
So, yan
kadalasan
lang.
91%. Yun, di ba sabi mo, 91% ng treatment.
Diagnose mo sila, pagkatapos uwi sila kasi hindi naman sila makakapatreat.
Tapos
So,
nung nakita yung mga pamilya na natutulog sa corregidors kasi just for treatment, and that triggered yun na sabi mo hindi pwede.
Kasi naisip ko rin like I learned na cancer is really curable. Kasi 'di ba pag marinig mo yung cancer, you associate it kasi sa adult cancer which is really tougher. Pero yung pediatrics kasi highly curable yung mga bata na may cancer. And so I was with that idea nung bumalik ako. But then I discovered na hindi lang pala enough na marunong ako gumamot, 'di ba? Meron pang they have to come back to the hospital several times.
Wala
They have to have medicines. They
wala
have,
silang masistayhan.
kailangan may nursing. Kaya wala silang matirhan, wala silang pamasahe, wala silang pagkain,
And the parents wouldn't work kasi sila dalawa mag-aalaga sa bata, di ba? So that's when you decided na hindi to pwede. You pull in your friends, gathered them.
I started initially with, syempre mga kapwa ko doktor, 'di ba? But then eventually I realized na syempre puro kami doktor, ano magawa namin, right? And so I asked the help, like halimbawa yung first na House of Hope, I asked the Rotary Club of Waling-Waling Davao kasi I was a member. Tinanong nila, how can they help? So sabi ko, we really need a transient home. Kasi yung mga pasyente natin, they come from all over Mindanao, natutulog lang sila dun sa ilalim
Waiting
ng
shed,
sa ilalim ng kama o kaya sa floor o kaya doon sa waiting shed. I mean, I don't know how people can look at that and just accept it as it is. And that was something na hindi lang yan eh. Kaya you know, that was something that I wanted to give my friends. Alam mo yon, kasi ako masaya ako eh, nakita ko na yan eh. And kung ako I can sleep very well at night, sa totoo lang. Pero syempre the whole day talagang tatrabahuin ko yung buong araw na yan. Hanggang matapos ako.
Alam mo, Doc, like what you said, Doc, when we celebrated House of Hope, yung 20th year ng House of Hope, from the 10%, right now, it's
nasa 60 na siya.
60 to 70%.
And considering the fact na we're sa SPMC pa lang, we're seeing like mga 260 na siguro new cases every year. Pero yung shared care facilities, altogether, that's already 400.
Wow.
So kung isipin mo na when I started, 40 lang siya, less than 10%. Ngayon, kahit mas marami na ang patient, mas mataas, di ba? So, well, I never, yun na nga, sometimes, siguro dahil sobrang daming kailangan gawin, I had very few opportunities na mag-sit down and mag-reflect.
Doc, I know overwhelming na ang success of House of Hope, but for sure, those 20 years, grabing struggle. Ano yung pinaka-struggling times?
Yung pinaka-early talaga. Kasi, you know, I was with a mistaken notion, hindi naman mistaken, na pag marunong ako gumamot ng pasyente, kaya ko siyang buhayin, kaya ko siyang i-save, kaya ko siyang buhayin. During the first 2 years, and it came during a time na may isang bata na standard risk ALL. So alam ko 80% ang survival niya. 'Di ba? He was already medyo na siya, siguro mga 9 years old na siya, malaking bata na. And nag-drop out sila ng treatment. Kasi yung bata talagang, syempre malaking bata, hindi mo mapilit kung ayaw niya, syempre palaging tusukan, ayaw niya umiiyak siya, parang naghihilahan sila ng nanay niya papunta ng hospital, and then eventually they just stop. And bumalik sila sa probinsya nila, and then ma-remember ko talaga siya kasi malapit siya sa Christmas. I think mga December 22, 23, around those times. I don't know paano nila nahanap yung telepono ko sa bahay. So, tumawag, the mom called me. Nasa emergency room sila. And nagpapasalamat siya sa akin. Her son was dying. Nagbi-bleed. Kasi syempre, nag-relapse. Kasi they stopped treatment. Tapos, it dawned on me, nagpasalamat yung mama sa akin. Sabi ko, yung parang, alam mo yung feeling na, bakit ka nagpapasalamat sa akin na mamamatay? I could have done more, you know, I could have saved this kid. So, it struck me, and naisip ko, ano itong pinagagawa ko? Alam mo yun, yung parang all of a sudden, kasi there were things that were really beyond your control. Isip mo, kaya mo sila i-cure, kaya mo sila and then, so, that was the first time that I thought I will quit. So, yun, parang I really felt na, ano ba itong ginagawa ko? Parang, there was a moment na nag-reflect ako, ano ba itong ginagawa ko? Parang napakahirap talaga siya. And then I realized na pag tumigil ako, sino gagawa nito? 'Di ba? Just the fact na nandyan ako para sa mga kids, kahit yung presence ko lang, parang 'di ba? Yung parang
naging ano siya, kumbaga trigger na naman siya na anong kailangan kong gawin next.
Yes, I cannot
So,
wait for people na
magbibigay lang.
Magbigay.
So naghanap
you
ka na,
really
yun
have
na,
to.
waling-waling came in.
Yes, everybody na.
So slowly,
Kita mo naman yung sabi ni Ambamindi, kahit sino na lang
Yung
kausapin
kausapin
ko,
mo.
parang pag ma-remember ko yan ngayon, parang parang napapahiya ako sa sarili ko, na sabi ko, oh my gosh, parang, pero, and then I realized na, madali sa akin mag-ganon because I was not asking anything for myself.
if there's one inspiring moment in those 20 years na you started House of Hope and started dedicating talaga to help kids with cancer, ano yung inspiring moment mo?
Survivor's Day. Definitely. Survivor's Day. Kasi, alam mo yung makita mo na yung mga bata na kung halimbawa hindi sila nagamot, they would have died. And then you realize the fact na nandyan pa sila kasi na gumaling na sila. And then they're doing the things that the normal children are doing. They're going to school, they're having problems with love life, they're kung ano.
Dagdagdalaga, nagbibinata na.
Yes, and then every year you see sila dumadami
Yes. And
sila.
I even have this specific memory. I think it was the Survivor's Day 2 years ago sa
yes.
SMX. And
Oh.
yung isang nurse na lumapit siya sa atin. Dok,
Yes.
ang ganito, nurse na ako, kaya ako naging nurse. Sabi ko, oh my God. Sabi ko, di ba?
Yes.
Grabe talaga. And you started Survivor's Day dahil
Ang Survivor's Day started because in 2007 we had a very tough time. During that time, medyo ilang beds na rin kami noon eh. Hindi pa siya yung Children's Cancer and Blood Diseases Unit. Doon pa kami, di ba nag-start kami 3 beds, tapos eventually naging 10 siya. So doon pa kami banda. And isang malaking room, nakikita ng mga bata, yung mga friends nila na namatay. So we were all very depressed. Yung parang
nahahawa.
ano kami na, parang down kami lahat masyado. Tapos naisip ko, sabi ko, yung nakikita natin sa hospital, yun naman kasi may sakit sila, di ba? That's why they needed to be in the hospital. So, syempre, ganun ang mga itsura nila. Sabi ko, siguro may nakatapos naman. Kaya nga, sabi ko, sige, hanapin natin yung mga nakatapos na. Sabi ko, sige, birthday ko sa December 8. Hindi na ako eto na lang, ako ang sponsor. So, sabi ko, ako nang magpa-party, ako magbayad. So, first actually was McDonald's dyan sa Bahada, sa Sombrero. Yung tapat ng Christmas tree. So, yan. So, initially, kaya pa namin kasi altogether, pati parents, 35 lang. Kaya ko yun, di ba? But over the years, in 2019, 1,000 na siguro
My
yun,
God,
di ba?
ang dami. SMX na kasi natin.
SMX
But
na.
everybody was very happy.
Grabe.
So, grabe, Doc, no?
So, yan talaga, every year, that really gets to
inspiring.
me.
Yun na yung birthday celebration mo.
Wala na-donate ko na eh. Wala na
Yun na.
birthday.
Hindi na nga happy birthday, Doc May, kundi Survivor's Day na, di ba?
So, na lang namin na Thanksgiving namin yan and I really ask yung mga nakatapos na, sabi ko, when you have the opportunity, bumalik kayo para makita kayo nung mga nag-undergo ng treatment. Kasi pag ako ang bata ngayon, pagkatapos, panay tusok, hindi ko kasi makita yung future.
Ang makikita nila pain eh. Bakit ko ito ginagawa?
Bakit kailangan ganito? Pag nabigyan ako ng gamot, sumusuka ako, tapos, so on and so forth. But, if they see you na you went through the same thing and you're still around, you're looking very well, di ba, isn't that inspiring?
Doc, tanong ko sa'yo, in everything that you're doing, kasi I heard you speak this is not our work. This is the work of the Lord, our Creator. Ano bang pinanghahawakang belief, mantra, Bible verse ni Doc when it comes to what you're doing in life?
Very young pa ako. Kasi there are so many things na hindi mo pa minsan maintindihan, right? And particularly yung loss ng mom ko. Hindi ko maintindihan yun. But then, yung Romans 8:28, di ba?
Romans 8:28.
Yeah. All things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to His purpose. So, several things lang dyan eh. good or bad sa buhay mo, they will eventually work out. Basta, i-love mo lang si God and do whatever He asks you to do.
And that's Romans 8:28.
Oh, yan yung aking, if you see, yan yung ginagawa ko yung purpose ko despite the fact na sasabihin nila, manglayo mo sa pamilya mo. I don't think na I was just, siguro I was given this purpose, I was given these gifts, so siguro kailangan I have to do more because this is more than enough for me. And, if you can share it with people around you or people away from you.
And again, like what you said, tama yun. Romans 8:28 na pag minahal mo ang Diyos, lahat will work according to His will because
always
everything is good.
Naisip ko itong mga bata, kalain mo may cancer ka. Bata ka pa. You've been given such a tough job or tough purpose. Kasi hindi mo alam di ba? And so kung meron tayong magawa, like for example, sabihin nila, ganda-ganda naman ng lugar na doon sa Tagum. Sabi ko, if we can do that, why not, right? Kung maibsan mo man lang, if you can give back a part of their childhood. Maibsan mo man lang yung suffering nila by little. Ma-cure mo man lang sila. Ba't hindi mo siya gawin? Right? If you can do that, bakit hindi mo siya gawin?
Alam mo, every time you're telling that to me, Doc, I'm amazed on how God works talaga. All for good.
Hindi yan akin Sa kanya yun
Kaya,
I haven't
diba?
even imagined. Siyempre ako, pagbalik ko, I will just help.
Diba, Doc? Kaya yung
So naive.
I even wrote a song in 2010 na
yes.
hindi pa tayo nagkakilala. Kasi
yes.
na-meet kita 2014. And what you're saying is the same lyrics that I wrote in the song in 2010 na hindi pala yun sa akin yung kantang yun. Gawa pala yun ng Diyos and it just came at the right time.
You're
diba?
also doing a purpose.
Doc, right now, how happy are you? How fulfilled are you in what you're doing?
I'm very fulfilled kasi for me, yung I always try to be grateful even for the bad things. Kasi kung bad siya, maisip ko, ano kayang tinuturo sa akin? But, what lesson can I get from this so that, I will be better as a person or I will be better for my patients? Anong tinuturo nito? And, alam mo, tayo kasi, masyado tayong, if we just look around us, marami tayong pwedeng pagpasalamatan, right? No, I think people are going to be happy if they always find things to be grateful for.
Great.
And yan talaga parang choice mo talaga yan Kasi kung maghahanap ka lang ng what is wrong with your life, marami kang makita. Pero kung maghahanap ka, look, the very fact na, nakita ko yung bata, she hugged me, to me, that was something to be grateful.
And that's why you were energized.
Kaya ako na hindi naman ako 100%, hindi naman ako energizer battery. There are times talaga na drained din ako.
Your love tank is drained. You need to refill it and you can only refill it with the people around you and the things that makes you happy around you.
So being grateful, I think that
Alam ko,
is one
Doc,
of those
how
things.
grateful you are with what's happening around. Grabe pa rin. Pero, ano pa yung pinaka-dream ni Doc May after niyang ma-achieve yung 10% to 70%? People coming together, nahawa mo na, sabi ko nga, contagious yung ginawa mo. Ano pa yun? Ano pang...
Well, ang dream ko is really to have, dito kasi sa atin, halos lahat, gusto ko magkaroon tayo ng, maliit na yung natin yung Children's Cancer Institute natin. Paminsan-minsan when we do procedures for children, di ba, nakikita naman natin sila, nakakat lang sila. So I want their conditions to be better. So I was hoping na magkaroon tayo ng bagong day therapy and a research center because I want to understand more, particularly sa Asian population. Kasi yung lahat na nababasa natin, North America yan siya or Europe. Diba? We know so much about cancer from those places. But ang belief Asians are very different in terms of biology, in terms of the kinds that we of cancers that we see in Asian children, the way that we respond to treatment, yung anong klase. Kasi like every day na pag-uusapan namin, napaka-rare naman nito. Rare ang pediatric cancer by itself, ha? So, mas rare pa yung mga kaso na nakikita namin. And we would have to send, diagnostics padala namin sa US, padala namin sa Singapore, para lang ma-diagnose yung pasyente. And I want this technology to be here. So, that's why sabi ko, sana ibigay naman ni Lord na magkaroon din kami ng facility na we would be able to do these things here. Kasi kung papadala mo pa siya, it takes like several days, even a month before it comes back. Pero kung at the tip lang of our fingertips, then, kasi we already have the people. We're already training. Nakaproduce na ako ng 2 oncologists, which I'm very, very happy about. Na yun na nga sa dinami-daming nagawa natin, di ba? From having the unit, from having the multidisciplinary team, siguro ang pinakamahirap is really to produce another pediatric oncologist. Pero na in the way na you wanted them to be produced, na magaling sila sa pasyente, magaling din sila mag-alaga. You are inspired by the things that people do. And I think siguro that's why people join us, because they see the vision. They see what we are doing. They want to be a part of it. They get joy doing the things that we are doing. And that's actually bakit ko siya sinishare with other people, because I'm so happy with what I'm doing. If other people can do the same, hindi ka naman kailangan maging doktor, right? Sometimes yun nga sabi ko.
Yun ang sinasabi mo parati. Hindi mo kailangan maging doktor para makatulong ka.
Yun nga sabi ko, you can cure sometimes, but you can comfort always. And comfort is not just the realm of doctors. Ano yan anybody. Hindi mo kailangan ng degree dyan para maka-comfort ka, maka-care ka sa mga pasyente. I even have students who come there and play with the kids. To me, akala mo, syempre, estudyante sila, they play with the kids. But the core memory yun ng mga bata
Yes.
So, and I feel na tayo and the people we work with, hindi lang ako tayo, we were sent as parang answered prayers for this little child. Diba? In whatever way na napatawa natin siya, or naibsan natin yung suffering niya, or in whatever way, or syempre kung doktor ako, kung na-cure ko siya, diba? I'm the hand of God na ako yung instrument ni God para sa healing ng batang ito. So I couldn't be, hindi ko yan pwede ipagyabang na akin yan, kasi hindi akin yan.
We would like to thank you personally for Hope, for starting that flame, and people keeps them burning for the purpose to help the kids with cancer. Doc, maraming salamat sa iyong time. You're so inspiring, and I know with your busy schedule, you're going to leave na naman for the US. But thank you for being part of All Talks of Life. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Mga ka-All Talks, swerte natin, nakasama natin ang isang babae na may malaking puso, na puno ng hope, ng puno ng love, not only for herself, but for others, especially the kids with cancer. So we would like to invite you, if you want to be part of House of Hope, you can just find House of Hope sa webpage, and you can fill in the gap and join us. And again, thank you for joining All Talks of Life. All glory to our Creator. See you all next time. Be awesome all the time. Live awesome.